Oh, welcome back, fantasy footballers. It's that time. Time to get lit and go through those picks for Super Bowl week after this. Welcome back, you beautiful football fans. Unfortunately, my team isn't in the Super Bowl. I hope yours is. I got my ass kicked. Didn't matter what I did, was gonna lose anyway. Now we're playing for third place and getting our money back. We kicked some ass in DraftKings last week. We did very well. Hope you guys copied that lineup and are working on your Christmas shopping as we speak. Now, before we get into those picks for this league, you know what time it is, people. Tree lighting time, bitches. You guys know how we start this off. We start with the QB. And who else do we go to this week? But we have to start Drew Brizzle. Guys, he put up crazy numbers last week. He's going to do it again this week. They are fighting for that home field advantage. So I expect them to go out there in full strength, give Michael Thomas his 30 targets a game or whatever the fuck they're giving him now, and expect Drew Brees to just have another light up performance. And congratulations to him for all those records that he is breaking. Incredible. Now we're gonna go into the running backs. We have 3 this week for you, and we're gonna start first with Devonta Freeman. Yes, I know that name doesn't excite you in the fantasy football world, but look, they have to fight to get in. Devonta Freeman needs to get the ball this week, especially in PPR. I expect balls out of the backfield. So look, at $6,000 for him, going up against Jacksonville's defense, they're the 29th ranked against the run. I expect him to have a solid day, enough for his points to equal his value. So get Devonta Freeman rocking in your lineups this week, along with Miles Sanders. Wow. Talk about a performance he put up last week. It was incredible as he sat on my bench. But this week, he's going to do it again. I'm not saying he's gonna put up 39 points, half of that. We're gonna go 15 to 20 with a solid 4 from this guy. They are again fighting for that division and looking to get into the playoffs. They need to give Sanders the ball in order to do so, so expect another large day from Sanders. And lastly, we talk about when opportunity knocks, and here we go in Oakland again, DeAndre Washington or Jalen Richard. We could go with both here, and I kind of like Washington just for the touches that he's possibly gonna get. But again, watch out for Richard. He could get a lot of those balls in the backfield and the hot hand can get played out. But we're talking $4,000. We have some big wide receiver we're gonna throw in our lineup this week. And in order to get him, we need to go small with DeAndre Washington. Now, before we get to those wide receivers, jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell, smoke. Now, going into the wide receivers, we just talked about him before when we talked about Drew Brees, and it's gotta be Michael Thomas this week. Why? Because he catches 30 fucking balls a game, like I said before. Look, he's going for Marvin Harrison's record, which he's probably gonna get. Drew Brees is gonna dump him 15 targets this week. If he catches 10 of them, yes, thank you very much, and expect him to get in the end zone. Michael Thomas is the #1 wide receiver in fantasy this week, and expect him to finish off the year as such. Now, the next wide receiver we have to talk about is the F1 McLaren, Terry McLaurin out of Washington. He's probably up for Rookie of the Year. He might get it. Dude's an amazing wide receiver, and expect him with Haskins to just fucking have a day, bro. You're going up against the Giants. It's a divisional game. They're gonna wanna show off what they got with this guy, and the Giants are just straight garbage. So look, get him in your lineup. I know his value is a little high at 6,200, but dude could ball. Expect 15 points on the floor for this guy this week with another high breakout percentage if he gets 100 in a touch. Now, my next wide receiver is a sleeper, but he did show up last week. And now with Alshon Jeffrey out, I really expect Greg Ward to be the guy there in Philly. Fighting for a division. We talked about Miles Sanders before. You gotta throw the ball downfield in order to win the game. And Greg Ward is that jump ball guy that I think is gonna come down with one this week. And at 4,200, in order to get all these big plays in, I like a guy who's expected to get at least 5 touches and possibly into the end zone. So slide Greg Ward into your lineup, you might pay off big with that one. Now, before we get into that tight end and defense, ouch, it's so smooth. Oh, so smooth. Oh, we live for this. All right, guys, now we're gonna go into the tight end and defense, but first that tight end, and who is it gonna be? Jonnu Smith. Did you see him last week? Getting handoffs and looking like Derrick Henry? This kid is fucking talented, and all year he's been on and off, hot and cold, But I think, again, we are talking about a team that's looking to get into the playoffs. They got to throw the ball. Derrick Henry is a little banged up. So expect Jonnu Smith with a nice floor of 10 points to have another possible breakout game. And I like his value at 3,800. That's a good value for a tight end this week. And expect him to have a solid day. So get Jonnu Smith in your lineups. And finally, guys, that defense. And we're going to go a little weird this week. We're going to go with the Atlanta Falcons. We're talking about teams fighting for things. Atlanta Falcons are fighting for things. They're fighting for their pride. And number one with their pride is their defense. Look, they've showed up the last 2 weeks with Carolina and San Francisco, and it's Jacksonville this week. They're worse than those two teams that I just mentioned. Well, not Carolina. Carolina's a shit show. But other than Carolina, Jacksonville is just as much of a shit show, and I expect Atlanta to put the boots to them. So expect a nice solid floor with a 10-point, and in DraftKings, that's great. So put yourself the Atlanta Falcons in your lineup this week, which should round out your lineup to look like this. Again, we make changes last minute. If you guys have any suggestions, please comment below and let me know. Always send your lineups to me, DM me here at GoStoner. Love seeing what you guys have. And I will post last minute lineups like I did last week. I made some serious changes to the lineup and it ended up cashing in. So thank you guys again for keeping the conversation going. I really appreciate you. Now, unfortunately, our year has come to a close, guys. The Super Bowl is here. If you want to do a week 17, I'm actually considering doing one just for the shits and giggles and having fun with the lineup and throwing some random ass players in there and possibly doing something. But really, I wouldn't copy the lineup. It probably won't cash in whatsoever, but maybe some good suggestions out there. So now before we say goodbye, and I wish you guys a great Super Bowl, let's dab in on some of this amazing sugar. Ooh, yes. Out of our Christmas MJ with the Connect. So fucking awesome. As I get this rocking and rolling, you see my little dabber here. Look at this sucker. This is from Monkey Boy Art. And oh my God, it's fucking epic. Has a little scooper on it. Guys, you rule. Oh, it's time to get lit as shit right now. But man, I've had so much fun getting to know you guys out there, talking fantasy football with you, and even go beyond that. I really appreciate getting to know all of you and really look forward to possibly one day sessioning with each and every one of you. You guys are so fucking hilarious and definitely make my day every time I see your comments. So please keep doing what you're doing for the community. Thank you guys so much. Stay beautiful, and most importantly, stay lit and good luck.